Okay, I've got another terrifying true story submission for you guys. Tonight's submitter wants to remain anonymous, so of course we're going to respect that. This story is called The Haunted Old Mill House in South Carolina. This might be long. Sorry. Not the house I grew up in, but when I was in college, my ex-boyfriend and I rented a small historic mill house from a slumlord. It was awful. Aside from the haunting, the house was in serious structural disrepair. It was built in the 20s and sat in a little neighborhood between a rock quarry and an old cemetery. At least once every few days, the quarry would detonate something and it would rattle the house like an earthquake. And I'm wondering if the issue was that the occupants of the cemetery were being rattled too. Our neighbors were kind of trashy, and their whole family would also ride four-wheelers all over the graves as if it were just an open field. The street also had a generally negative vibe because it was a bad area with sketchy people walking around with regular police presence to address all the domestic disturbances. A homeless man also tragically passed away in a violent incident only a street over while I was there. One neighbor was a peeping Tom. The vibe was bad. In our house, I picked up on a male energy who just did not want us there. During the day, my ex and I would hear heavy boots stomping across empty rooms or down the hall approaching the room we were in. He worked long shifts and sometimes worked nights, so I was alone at night frequently, and sometimes when he wasn't there, I would hear a gross male grunting sound, which I at first thought was my dog before realizing it definitely wasn't. And unfortunately, this thing seemed to love antagonizing my dog, who frequently growled at dark corners in this house. For example, once when I was alone with my dog on the bed, she was laying asleep in front of me. I heard the grunting noise, and then I saw my dog's fur suddenly move, disturbed, as if an invisible hand jabbed at her with their fingers out. She jolted up and looked at me like I was the one who woke her up like that. The absolute worst incident happened when my ex was actually home, though. I woke up in the middle of the night because my dog was standing braced over me, snarling with her hackles up. I thought it was because of an animal outside or something, but when I sat up, I saw that she was growling at a man standing in the bedroom doorway. Given the neighborhood, I assumed intruder. He was standing stiffly, sort of lurched, like he was bracing to rush towards us or something. I frantically started shaking my ex awake, and my dog started to bark. While he was waking up, the man dropped his arms from his pose and silently walked into the bathroom in the hall. There is absolutely no way to escape from that room, and no way to have walked back out without us seeing. But there was nobody inside and no intruder at all. We were able to move out when the lease ended, which was about 10 years ago. The experiences thankfully stopped as soon as we left, and in the various places I've lived since, my dog has never growled at corners, rooms like that. So in other words, the dog's never behaved like that anywhere else before or since. Terrifying story, great story. Thank you for this story. Now keep sending me those stories and suggestions, guys. The address is plainly visible everywhere. And keep Appalachia haunted, y'all.